Okay, it's 12 by 12 this week. I'm going to make something, not sure what, but I'm going to do an experiment. Only I just seen Shabby Dabby Doodah's video, and she was struggling a bit with alcohol inks, and I've used them quite a lot. But even though what she made at the end, oh my gosh, they're lovely, beautiful. Okay, but I could see that she was just struggling a little bit. Anyway, I sort of like, as I was watching, I'm thinking, okay, I wonder if we could use alcohol inks on top of the gesso. This isn't gesso. This is the papers that I've done with emulsion, you know, house paint, water soluble house paint, you know, that you just do willy-nilly, not for wood or anything like that. It's not gloss, it's matte. And I painted a load in previous video to work on, so I'm going to use that as a base, and I'm just wondering if it would work. Okay, now, yeah, I use alcohol inks on non-porous surfaces as well, you know, like yuppie paper and things like that, but yuppie paper is really expensive, but I have got some, but I want to work on the 12 by 12, so I think I'm going to have a play. It's funny when you watch a video and you're like, oh my God, that come in my head and that come in my head. It's actually incredible. And I know Tina will make some beautiful things out of the paper she made. I just know she will. So I'm going to have a play with this one. It's going to be more, I'm heading towards a bit of shabby because I've got a couple of journals to make, but we shall see. It might turn into something totally different, so beware with me. Okay, I do use gloves for this because it really does stain your fingers. I'm going to spray with alcohol. This is the 75% one. You can get 99, but it's very hard to get it here, so it's like a rubbing alcohol. So I'm going to use some of that. I don't really want blobs, so if I spritz that first. Okay, I'm going to use, this is the cheap ones. I think I've done I don't know whether I did, but I do prefer Tim Holtz, most definitely. Yeah. But you know, they are expensive, but they are better. So, and that's spread on some of that. That's cool. Still a bit blobby there, but I'm not worried about that because you can overstamp and break this up. Okay, or over stencil with paint. I mean, that's the sort of thing I would do. Okay. And I want to dry that off, but I like the way it's going over that paint. I know they're designed for non-porous, you know, substrates and things, but I'm not joking. You can still get some really good results, and it's again, it's fun to play. You know, hats off to Tina. She done a fabulous job. I love what she made. I was like, oh, the papers when she finally finished. I was like, oh my gosh, I love them. So yeah. And I quite like what happens to the ink onto porous surfaces, to be honest. I need a bit of alcohol now though. I think you just got to be quick. I mean, that pink is very pink, isn't it? Blue is very blue at the moment. Okay. No idea. This is white. I can't see it doing a lot actually, but I'm going to give it a go. It's quite thick, that one. It works. It's a bit more of a shape though. Alright, this one is Stream. I really like this colour actually. Essence is Speed, I think. I'm going to spritz on there. Oh, and the blending solution is really good. I loved it when I had some. I haven't bought any for ages, so I mean that is in there. That's not going anywhere at all. I think this one just didn't come out. Oh no, it did. Okay. Okay, I'm liking that. And I'll tell you what, it does work on top of that paint, most definitely. Okay, I'm going to dry that off. And I am going to use, of course, a little bit of gesso on the top to tone it all down. Okay, brilliant. I love it. Okay, that's the kind of backgrounds I love. So that's worked really well. This one is just a bit of blue scrapbooking paper, I think, and I painted again with household paint. So I'm going to do the same, similar again. Okay, I'm going to be quicker with my roller, I think. So we can, yeah, this is alcohol. So it's quite saturated with alcohol. I'm going to use pink and white at the same time, yeah? So I can do that. You have got to be quick though, because it's very pink, this one, but it'll tone down. Okay, loads on there. I need to, oh, I've got another one here. I'll do, let's do that. So I like this effect on porous surfaces. Okay, that's cool as well. That's great. Okay. And I'm going to have a bit of white on here. I need some blue, so I'm going to have to dry that first a bit. Now those ones of Tina's are going to be fantastic once she starts cutting them up. She's not going to realise until she sees them again. Because sometimes when you're staring at things, you think, oh, I don't know, and you see it as a whole, you know. But once you start cutting into it, it's amazing what they can look like. You know, don't take them as they look. I mean, I'm actually really liking that one as it is. And I'm going to put a bit of blue on that, and I'm going to call that done. That's great. Right, what stream, isn't it? Got... Okay. Just going to try a bit down there first. Okay. So I don't want it to mix too much with what's underneath because it's going to go purple. Okay, and then with white to break it up on top, I think we'll be all right. Let's dry that off. Okay, you can see how that looks now. Not, you know, I wouldn't say it's very good. But then we add gesso, and then a bit of stenciling, and you'll be surprised what a different form it can look. And just takes on a whole different form. Okay, brilliant. Turn that down, lovely. That's quite usable now. It's a bit pink for me, but I think when we add, you know, vintage photo and that will be fine. Okay, and back to this one. So I'm going to add a bit of this, not so much paint on this one, so that I do know. So it's going to go into the paper a lot quicker. Okay. It's really funny when I was drawing faces, I think I've mentioned this before, I spent most of my time actually doing them gesso straight over and then bringing them back. I reckon I spent a year doing that. I never liked any of them, so I just gessoed over them. Then I brought them back and then I would do it again. But I learned so much about gesso. Don't get me wrong, it still surprises me. Sometimes I think, oh, that didn't work. Okay. I think a little bit more here actually. I really don't like the tone of that pink at all. It looks like bubblegum. But I didn't have another pink. I have a spray though that I might use actually. That might bring a different colour into it. Okay, shall we? This is one I'm going to use in my journal. So this is mica with alcohol. I need that gone. So I'm liking the rest. Not gone, but I need some over there. I'll just tone that bit down, and then a little bit here. Okay, I'm good with that. Okay, they're all nice and dry. I've cut some in half because that's what I'm going to do with them today. That's that one. This one I haven't cut yet. That's the other one. It's great. It's a great base. Very pink for me. Mayo. This one is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do one like, oh, we used to do them years ago, like little brag books. But I'm going to do it, so, yeah, so it's 6 by 12, and then you fold in the edges. I've just played around. I haven't looked at, I can't actually remember how to do it, but it's worked out all right, so I can show you. Right. So I'm just going to score exactly the same because I want 4 in the middle, so I'll score 2. Yeah, and try and keep things even. Yeah, and then I'll do 4, so that brings that to 6. And then it will be 10. And that should leave me 2. Okay, and exactly the same on the other one. So these are a little bit, actually, they're supposed to be 12 by 12, but they wasn't, because when I cut 1 to 6 in half, the other bit that had a bit left over, so, or one was a bit shorter, so I've cut them down to 5.5, so, which is fine. So 1, 2, 6, 10. Okay, this is exactly the same. So you can do this with any scrapbook paper. Nice Tim Holtz one would be nice. I think they were called brag books years ago. Right, okay. Not sure which way I'm going to do it. Right, that'll be my, I quite like. Right, just looking at what I want in my front. I think that one. Oh, let's have a look. Actually, that one. This could be my front, yeah? So fold that one in. Okay. And then fold that down. There. That's the centre one, yeah? So that's the centre of my book. And then this one, I think I'll go towards the outside. I'm not sure. Might change, but I'll just get that down there. Like that. Okay. And then I'll just do all these nicely. Okay. Then, right, should we have that on the inside or that way? Okay. That's got to go there, you see. Yeah, and that's going to be a pocket. Okay. I might do it the other way because I can cover that bit. Yeah. So that's going to be a pocket. Yeah. And that's going to be a pocket. So that goes the other way. Until I do it, I don't know which way. Okay, so that's going to be a tuck spot there. Yeah, and then here it's going to be a pocket there. So I'm going to do that now. Okay. And this attaches to here and creates our flap, you see. Yeah, and that's going to be the front. And that sits in together. Hope you got that. Sorry folks, when I do these things, I literally just fold them as I wait for things to dry. So I've got two now, and that's the other one. Okay, I'm all right. I didn't want to go in because some's going to be covered up. That's why I didn't sort of stamp it and do different things. So I thought, well, some of it is going to be covered up, so I'm not sure. So we need to cover these and ink up. So I'm going to ink all that up out of the way. Oh yeah, I got a hubby to make me one of those. I showed them a picture because the person that's making them in America, I don't think she's delivering to America, but plus I think I've heard that she gave instructions on how to make them anyway, but I didn't. I just showed him a picture of what I wanted, and he said, you know, because he is a carpenter, he said, oh yeah, I'll make one of those. I said, I don't want the one with 3 things in because it's too big for my desk or where I want it to go, but brilliant idea. I will try and find the link of who it is and her video. All right, I'm not trying to steal her idea or anything because it's, you know, it was totally hers and I thought it was absolutely brilliant. So thank you very much. I don't know why I'm inking now, but yes, I'm inking up, and then I'm going to cover all this anyway. I'm going to spray water. You know, I do this and then I spray the water. Because as you know, the ink reacts with the water. Okay, and I've also got a bit of coffee as well. All right, so I'm just going to start to do that a bit. Okay, let it do its thing. Okay, and a bit of coffee. Water. Okay. And then we dry that off. Okay, so that's all distressed, and yeah, that's great because I'm going to cover that. Oh, I'll tell you what I did do. Yeah, I didn't, because this is going to be, hold on a minute, EG, that's going to be sort of there. Okay, and then I had another flap there, didn't I? Well, I didn't like it, so I've cut that off. Okay, and that will, or can be, it doesn't have to be, but we can use the bit that I cut off on, say, here or something like that if I want to, but I'm not worrying about that now. I'm doing some getting the actual front cover done because I want to stitch everything on here, so I want some sort of texture going around the outside, so I'm going to use the Crazing by Tim Holtz. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do, and then I'm going to have a topper. I don't know which one yet, but it's going to be, you know, something like that on there, and then pretty it up as you do. But I want to get some texture on here. Actually, what I'm going to do, I'm going to gesso first. I want some of this gessoed, and that don't take long to dry, and then I'll do my texture on my front cover. Yeah, because I'm doing oh no, I want gesso texture with the Rolodex this month. I thought, oh, I could stay on, and I noticed Tim Holtz was, I missed it actually. Was it this week or last week? Can't remember. You've done texture. I think it was this week. Yeah. So that was handy. And I thought, yeah. So we're going to have June is going to be the month of texture. I'll do it with a palette knife, I think. I'm not going to worry about the front. That's the front cover there, so I'm not going to worry about that. Okay, I've got a bit left, just so as you know. I got to use it all. Oh, hold on, let's do it on that. And so I only want to go around the outside. I am actually going to apply it with my same size palette knife. I keep trying to say spatula, so annoying. Okay, I'll leave that like that. Right, so I know something's going to go here, so I just want a bit around the outside. So, but I'm going to use my palette knife, put it on. I'm going to do that as well. I'll tell you why. Because I sort of want to go up towards the edge. It's, the cover's a bit floppy at the moment, but it won't be when I've lined it. Okay, I'm going to spread some of this over. I'm doing this because it won't craze a lot, but it gives me loads of texture on this piece, so when I apply some more colours and things, whatever I'm going to do with this one, I might actually do a shabby chic one for my Rolodex and use this. So considering I'm doing shabby chic journal, so just leave that alone. That creates some texture of some kind. We'll see that at a later date. And that is going to dry now. I'll put it on the heater. It doesn't actually, it's better if you leave it dry overnight, to be honest. But anyway, I need to get it done today, so I shall put it on the heater while I go and have lunch. And then we'll go from there. That's nice and dry. I'm actually quite impressed with that. You can see that. It's brought out that pink, which is sort of like reacted with it, but it's okay because I'm going to go over with gesso anyway. But I'm actually quite impressed the way that's cracked, because this is, you know, this is only scrapbook paper on there. So I'm just going to get some on my finger, and hopefully you can see it. The sun is right in my eyes here, so I'm hoping that you can still see. Yeah. I'm going to do it very, very gently first, and I'm going to do it down here. The trouble is, I actually can't see what I'm doing. Yep, it's all right. Don't worry. Do not panic, because I'm going over with white, but I do want that there, because when I spray it in a minute, it all will be gone. And it doesn't happen with every stain, mind. It's because this is distress stain, and you can distress it. Put some in here. And this one here. Okay. So I'm going to spritz a bit of water. I'm going to pick this up. I'm not going to waste it at all. So, oops. Right, which one am I going to use then? I think it's going to be this one. Okay. And do this with scissors. I tend to cut it with scissors, but I don't mind that either, actually. Now I want to go in a little bit more there, see? I'll just dig a bit deeper, because that's the effect I want to do. I've got to find something to go under it. Something, you know, dark. Text on or something. Do I need any text on that? Right. Okay, well the sun is blaring in here. Because I'm struggling to see anyway without putting my head forward. I've trimmed up a bit of this sort of like rose cotton off a bed sheet, I think. And I'm going to ink it up a little bit and then get that dried, because I want that to go underneath the topper of the front cover. So I'm sort of trying to sort of grunge it up a bit, so it's a bit too sort of new. It's not new, but feels like it. And I've only got, that's the only length of the fabric I got, so I'll have to knot it. But I'll knot it in a few places to make it look it's part of the style, if you know what I mean. So okay, so that's going to go under there. What I do, I just put it right round and make sure it's about right. Yeah, I think I might be all right with one, actually, because it's only a, yeah, it's not going to be that thick, so it's not like a journal. Right, let's have a look at this then. Ink some of that up. Be a bit careful with that because it's very fragile. Okay, and I've got some of this. I'll cut it off of a longer one. I don't know whether that might be better, actually. A bit smaller, I think I will. I think I'll have that. That's good. And now, before I stitch around that, now glue my piece of card. Okay, it's only thin card. It's about 160. I printed this one out onto card, so, and that's going to go in there. So when I stitch around, I'll catch that as well, even though it doesn't matter. But sew my pocket in at the same time. Let's cover that. It's not actually should have. Oh no, I'm going to put lace on there. Okay. I blunt my scissors cutting metal. And I'd leave that until I find something to sort of go around there. We'll see what happens later on. Might find some, I've got some little flowers somewhere. I might choose a flower. Okay. Right, well that's drying. Let's have a look at this other one. Okay, that's going to be the pocket, isn't it? So, how thick is that? It's not too bad actually. Right, that is going to be seam in the back, which is okay, but I'm going to just put a bit of this in there. Just take that off a bit. It won't be long before the sun's gone, so good. No, I'm not saying, I shouldn't say it really. It's absolutely beautiful today, but it's just a couple of hours. It's in that window of mine. See if I cover anything else. And that's going to go in there. So, do we put that in? I think we will. I thought one of these would be lovely with the William Morris kit. It's cool. I've got any more? I think it's this one here, isn't it? I've got to cover as well before that goes in. Yeah, don't do that as well. That's going to be covered, so I'll just make sure it's, yeah, okay this side, because that's going to be that. Do we put that there? We will. I'm going to fold it over, so I'm not going to glue that down yet because I'm going to do a bit of work on that. The texture is amazing. It really is. Yeah. Right, that's stitched down. Okay, and that's not too bad. You can't really see that, but like I said, it should have been done before. Never mind. So that's going to go there. This one, I've just glued that down there because I'm going to stitch on that, but I'm just going to do some stamping now because that's going to be stuck like that. So it creates a pocket and a flap. Okay, I'm just going to do a bit of light stamping. Yep, could have done with something even like this. Vintage photo is actually quite dark, I noticed. Right, anyway, I'll go for it. I think that one that I've been using recently because it's handy and it's here. So okay, right, so I'm going to, what am I going to do? Stitch, oh yeah, stitch that, but I'm going to put my vellum on and sort this out first, yeah, because I've got to stitch this on. Okay, right, so that's going to go sort of there, yeah, and I'll just dot that around because some of it will be caught in the stitching, so I'll just trim off the excess after, just have the shiny side up. Most of that there, like that. This is, I'm using this one because it is actually a funny shape, but I can cover it. I'll just sort of have that dangling in that corner there. Part of the stamp that comes with the Something Shabby kit, so just cut down a bit because it's quite big, so it goes there. So a little bit of muslin underneath. It takes up, oh, no, I've blunt my scissors. I know what I've done. You know the metal things that come in some of the flowers? I cut one of them off, and I should have used my old ones because I've got old ones for that, but I didn't. I just grabbed a pair of scissors and what I'm going to do is just run the sewing machine up there before I glue this on. So that's well attached, I think. Just going to bring that over a bit. Okay, let's stitch around there. Yeah. And do I want to do a bit of stitching here? I'm going to stitch this in now anyway. Okay, so before you can glue it, but I'm going to stitch mine, but I will tack it down with glue there. But I'm going to carry on and stitch here and put some lace on. I don't know why I stamped there. I'm not going to see it, are you? So that's actually quite nice, that one. But yeah, I shall put some lace on that bit. Your music, if you hear music every now and again, that's actually cars in the village. I did post a video on my Facebook page, my own personal one, the other day. There's a racket that comes from the street. And there was one person who was like heavy metal music, and it was so loud. I think my husband's hosing the garden. Oh, it goes that way. So I can hear water. Well, I hope he's hosing the garden down. Because it's not raining. Okay. Isn't it? Yeah, it's hosing the garden. Right, so I'm going to stitch there, and then I'm going to put a bead of glue down there to glue that in. Okay, and then I'm going to stitch it in. All right, and that is all but done, really. There's a little booklet. Oh, and got to do some stamping on here and then stitch that one. I can stitch that in the machine, no problem. Okay, so before I stitch that in, I've glued it but not stitched. All right, I'm gonna stamp on the back here. All right, so same stamp, I think. Okay, it's cool. This I might make into a belly band, so I'm going to stamp on that just in case I do use it. And I have ink on there, so okay, perfect. Getting mucky now. So I can do this all together, you see, and then I'll go all along there, and then it'll stitch that down as well. Okay, right, so put a tag in there for now. Okay, just like that, and then it'll have fibres coming out the top. Okay, stitch that down there. So I've got a pocket here and pocket there. Right, and now I'm going to do a belly band here. Okay, and that's that bit of paper I stamped, remember? So it's quite straight edged, so I thought a bit of vellum, and because it's the same sort of tone really, this page has gone quite white, quite pink, so I am gonna add a bit of gesso. It's taken on a real pink. It's like the gesso has disappeared on that. So while I do the other thing, this can be drying. So shall we have a credit card, I think now. I'm not sure about the actual closure. I wish I'd used seam binding. I just feel it's, I don't know, it's not right for me. Somehow. Don't know why. Okay, and that will be drying while we do the belly band. Right, what are we having in the middle then? Should we have one of these flowers? Yeah, we will. Carry the theme through. Right, these little bits come in handy for different things too, you know, they don't go to waste just because I'm doing this. Okay, I'm going to go and stitch around that. Okay, so I went and stitched over mine. Okay, I glued it in and then stitched it. Put that in. So my back was going to die any minute. So I would normally back all these or colour them up. Here I thought I'd have this rose or something. It might look quite nice. So I'm going to put that in and one on the back as well. So that's what I thought. Hopefully I've got time, so if I get cut off, sorry folks. All right, but you've seen most of it now. I'm better taking the vellum off the sticky rather than the other way around, I must say. That then, I haven't chose one for the back, so this is so sticky. Love what I've done, so that's all right, and it'd go lovely, you know, with the one of the journals. And like I said, that was just, you know what paper it was, old sheet of 12 by 12. And then I would, where the stitching is here, is take the whiteness off, because I use cream on the top, and then I use like a bobbin thread, so it is white. So I do go over my stitching most of the time when I remember, but I do before it ever goes anywhere. But there we go. So yeah, and that's just out of one 12 by 12 piece of paper. Yeah, well, except for the tags and stuff. Okay, thank you very much for watching then, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.